Okay, so let's create a blog. It's as easy as clicking that button. Wow, I have a blog now. I'm gonna call it blog. You can call it whatever you want. Maybe journal or let's call it news. On news today. Okay, sweet. So this is your blog. On the left-hand side, you're gonna see the lack of items. Let's add a couple items. Okay. So to add a new blog post, you're gonna click that plus icon in the top right corner of the content management system. That brings up edit post. This is how you're going to add a blog post. So to do that, I'm going to add a title and I'm going to say news item one or one, right? Grab some text. This is a little web design trick. This is a cool plugin called Lorem Ipsum. And Lorem Ipsum is kind of like dummy placeholder text in Latin. So it's just gibberish. So I know that that's a block of text, but it doesn't say anything. Let's add an image. Cool. I got my image there. I'm going to have the text wrap around it. Remember how I showed you that earlier? Just drop it right there. And yeah, that's enough. All right, cool. So what are the different things that I can uh, do to a blog post? Well, there's two things right here that are super important. Categories and tags. I'll explain why they're important in a minute. Okay, so let's talk about the different kind of things that I might be blogging about, or different news items, right? This is called news. So let's create a new category. News. Let's call this politics. Maybe science, my favorite, or um, sports. You get the picture. Let's just pick one of them. This is about sports. And in this post, I talk about baseball. So tags. So categories are the general category that your post is about. Limit it to 2, maybe 3. I would choose 1, right? If you can narrow it down to 1 thing, that's always better. If it's kind of about 2 things, then that's okay. 3 starts to get cluttered, so don't do more than that. Tags is where you're gonna add a bunch of stuff. You can add this is like adding a hashtag on Instagram, right? So I'm gonna add like in this post, I talk about sports. So in this post, I talk about baseball, comma, adds it. I talk about tennis, comma, adds it, football, comma, adds it, chess, it's a sport, look it up. Marching band while we're at it, that's a sport too. What else? What else? I also talked about field or no, let's just do regular hockey. Bam. Okay. So those are all the things I talked about in the post. You might put something like say if you're doing travel, right? Talk about the cities that you went to in that travel blog. What it's going to do is that these words now exist on the internet and Google is going to see that and it's going to see those words. So the more often you use these tags, it's going to see your blog and see, oh, this person is talking a lot about X, Y, and Z. Let's point, this person search to that website because there's 25 posts about that. Obviously, the title is the most important when it comes to SEO, then the category, then the tag, but it all works. And the content, obviously. Cool. All right, this part, comments. You can change the comments to be on or the comments to be off. You can always allow them to be disabled completely. But it's a good way to get, conversation started. This is the next coolest part. So I think this is probably the coolest part about the blogs on Squarespace. I can choose to save this as a draft, right? I'm not ready to post this thing yet. I'm still working on it. I'm going to hit save. Then maybe I come back to it the next day, edit. If I hit that save and publish, it's going live. When you see that word publish, it's live and it's on your website. Okay, I'm ready to have this reviewed. You can have like multiple people join as collaborators on your website and you can have them work together to create content. Maybe that there's one person that's the editor and one's the content writer and one's like the chief editor, whatever. You can have a bunch of people write and then one person review it. So the content writer saves it as this needs review, and then it's going to actually notify the person that we set as the editor to review it and then publish it on their own. I'm not going to get into how to do that. If you are interested, let me know. Then we can do it as a schedule. This is so cool. So like I could create 15 blog posts and then have them scheduled to be posted one per day for the next 2 weeks while I sit on the beach. So I could spend a Sunday making a bunch of content, and then I'm going to schedule this. This is going to be posted tomorrow at 3:20 p.m. Right, and then I make another one. And I'm going to schedule that one to be Tuesday or whenever. Right. So if I click save, then it's going to publish that at this time, no matter what, no matter where I'm at, automatically. Pretty awesome stuff. All right, let's go up to the options. Let's see what else we need to add here into a blog post. And again, don't leave any of this stuff blank. Use everything that you have here to your advantage because it's there for a reason. Thumbnail image. This is really important because this is going to be what your users see besides the text. You need to add some sort of image associated with it, right? Excerpt. This is an excerpt. I'll show you where that shows up in a second. Keep it to a couple sentences. You can change the author, right? I told you earlier you can add authors, and so I can change this from one person to another. Maybe if you want to say someone else wrote something, you can change that there because you can see who the author was in the post. Source URL. So say if I'm reposting content from CNN, right? I'll be like, this is from CNN.com, by the way. And then what else we got? You can change the URL, right? I can change this automatically. It sets it as new nicarocco.com/news, the name of the blog, right? /2017/12/30 when I made it. But you can change that in the back end in the settings. And then you can change this. It automatically takes the name of the title, right? News item 1. Post URL, news item 1. Keep in mind, if you change this and you have other things linking to it, it's going to break it. Location. Say if this is about an event, I'll probably want to put the location on there. Same thing, right? This is an automatic lookup from Google. So say if this is at 12345 Ventura Boulevard, it looks it up for you and it throws a pin right there. Here's the absolute coolest part. And remember, this is not just for blog posts. This is for events. This is for products. Whenever I want to share a new piece of content, whether it's a blog post, an event, or a product. Again, I'm sorry I'm drilling it down, but it's super important to get the fundamentals. I can blast this out to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, whatever I want. And you can do that just by flipping this switch on, flipping that switch on. And now you'll see here, this is the example of what's going to post. Now, you can use these different conventions that you can see over here with the formatting, right? You have %T, %A, %U. And if you do that, it's going to take it's automatically going to take the actual title of the post. %A is the author of the post, %U is the URL of the post. So watch this. So I'm going to go, hey, check out my newest post. %T, %A, %U. This is what's going to go on Facebook without me even going to facebook.com. I click publish and this is going live. Hey, check out my newest blog post. It's called New Post Title by Nick Arocco. And here's the link. Just by doing these 3 things. Isn't that pretty cool? It'll do the same thing on Twitter as well. So and you can set these up to like post in a certain way so you don't have to do this every single time. But I think it is so useful because you don't spend time creating your post, getting a link, going to Facebook, copy and pasting the link into Facebook, creating a post, then going to Twitter, doing the same process. It's so overwhelmingly like monotonous that you could do it in one like take right from here. So save yourself some time. Get used to it and you will thank me later. Thank Squarespace later, really. I'm not going to post that right now because it would literally go to my feed and it's a garbage nonsense blog post. So, but let's save it, right? But let's publish it right now. It's scheduled for tomorrow. Remember that? I'm going to go to published. It's published now. And I can even change that to publish it in the past if I'd like. So there's our blog item right here. You got the thumbnail image, we have the title, we have the the date it was posted, and then the excerpt. Remember that excerpt where I said it was gonna come in later? That's where this shows up, and then a read more link. You can change all of this in the style editor, which I'm gonna talk about later, but don't get too bent out of shape on it right now. Just kind of use it as it is if this is your first time doing it. Now check